Renee Ballou, and Renee is going to talk to us about Weave, Heal, Connected, so please make Renee welcome.
Oh, you can't start yet. Turn it back, I've only got 20 seconds for that. Can you? Yeah, thanks. We're all connected, every one of us. We all connect by our hearts, we connect with our stories, our patterns, our journeys in life, our essence of being. Everyone is connected. From inner to outer, we flow and we intersect, all taking part in this great weaving we call life, where everything is connected. But sometimes we put on a mask, and we put on this mask in order to function in this world of economics, expectation, that we disconnect from ourselves, from each other and from our natural surroundings. Our threads unravel, but we forget that the mask is still woven. Everything connects. So here's a connection for you. Renee means reborn in Latin, and Ballou means to die in the Kabi Kabi language from where I come. Where I live, by the way, sorry. It speaks of cycles of creation, change, separation, transformation, and reconnection. My name is my story, is my life, is my journey, is my weaving. And weaving is a metaphor for life. It's a holder of wisdom. It shows a way of being that's life-giving, it's creative, nurturing, supportive. And like a womb, a basket contains the patterns for all creation. It embodies those patterns and processes that lead to connection and to wholeness. So when we sit in circle and we weave, we share our stories and our thoughts and our journeys and our hearts, and we take off our masks and we reconnect to our true selves or to our essence of being. This is called healing. From external practice to an internal journey, weaving is active meditation, showing the way to a state of being from where we best express ourselves in the world. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is a part of myself expressed as a series of cultural community development projects, which I call Weave, Heal, Connected. So 20 years ago, I had a life-altering experience in Arnhem Land, and I vowed to return with a mission to give back for all that I'd received. That vow was like the first stone that plopped in the pond. But what was my mission? 10 years later, the answer came, to reconnect. That was like, the meaning of life is 42. But that's when I started to weave, guided by my hands and my heart and the Yolngu weavers at the Dreaming Festival. But it took me a decade to learn the first root of weaving. Well, one of the most important ones, which is patience. But I was reborn into the practice of a weaver. Renee, reborn. Everything connects. The ripples on the pond were forming. So action, passion, purpose, funding applications. Project 1, Weave, Heal, Connected to our community. This is a series of weaving circles for local women that, who are at risk of social isolation due to age, physical, mental, or financial disadvantage. Project 2 came as a result of Project 1. So this is to document and share knowledge of weaving and dye plants in southeast Queensland, called Weave, Heal, Connected to our local ecology. So can you see how the ripples are starting to grow and everything connects, even when we forget they do? Cool. From ancient times, weavers have honoured the fibres of nature, knowing how to find them, harvest them, prepare them and use them to tap into the creative energy of the universe. Transformations, manifestations, the unseen become seen. The circles ripple outwards as we weave. More ripples, Kabi Kabi Elder Beverly Hand, project repatriating Indigenous fibre skills in using endemic plant species and the diagonal knotting pattern. Also basketry masterclasses with Okawika and Renee Ballou of Weavery. Wow, I died and went to heaven. Ballou to die comes full circle. More connections. So tell me, if everything's connected, why am I, a white South African woman, with a mission of weaving with Indigenous Australian? So back to roots, to South Africa and a weaving residency with Design Africa. Yeah, see, 42, meaning of life. Another plop in the pond, that's Weave Heal Connected, the African-Australian connection. So Coffee Bay and Transkei, South Africa, and Xhosa Weaver Nomonde over there, taking photos of the picture of the Chompy Grass Toyota. They were amazed, and they didn't know that there were weavers in Australia. Stories and connections now across continents, and the ripples are intersecting. Glasshouse Mountains, that's Mount Biawa. Weave Heal Connected, Expanding the Circle, a project to connect Indigenous and non-Indigenous women from Southeast Queensland through weaving, stories of the land and song. In partnership with Nangina Corporation for Aboriginal Women's Business. Always weave from the inside out, from your heart, consciously. So weave yourself, then those around you. Weave them in, and then weave wider out into your community. Expand further, always flowing with the ripples, with the circles, the questions, and the answers. Strong foundations are built on conscious connections. So 20 years have passed in a full circle, back to Arnhem Land. So my mission has come home. Every end is a new beginning, and this one brings another plop in the pond. On the horizon, Weave Heal Connected, Indigenous Reconnections. This is for Indigenous women from urban areas reconnecting to culture with the senior weavers of Gumbalanya community. And so my path unfolds. In June next year, I'll share my first Arnhem Land weaving retreat, and that's healing through the practice of weaving and the language of weaving in partnership with Inyalak Arts in Gumbalanya. Building partnerships, ongoing relationships, and opportunities for exchange. Ripples are now intersecting, converging, and transforming. And next will be trips to the cradle of Africa and to Papua New Guinea, always following the patterns as the ripples go wider. And then perhaps an international Indigenous weaving camp, bringing everybody together, connecting weavers from way beyond our normal experience, united by the language and the wisdom of weaving. And who knows what'll come next, but for now I'll be here. My outer skin flowing on the breeze of a higher vision, but from an inner space where I remember to take off my mask and surf the ripples and celebrate the shimmering intersections of the fibers of life. And I'd love to connect and to share my journey with all of you. Thank you.
I'm really quite emotional after that. That was beautiful. It's now my pleasure